Yes, all right. Follow the marshals. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you to stand up and raise your right hand, take an oath before the court for these proceedings.
Along the southwest border, this is the new normal for public defenders like Richard Gold. Courtrooms filled with defendants charged with improperly entering the United States.
Each is ready to enter pleas of guilty and proceed to sentencing to their judge.
Men and women with chains around their ankles and waists, waiting to be prosecuted. The room is humid as they sit in the very same clothes they were apprehended in.
Please be seated. Everyone is under oath for the record.
I hate seeing people in shackles. I mean, especially somebody with no criminal history, no immigration history. It's hard to look at it.
The reason for the increase, Jeff Sessions' zero-tolerance policy.
If you cross the border unlawfully, then we will prosecute you.
Instead of the catch-and-release approach of prior administrations, where migrants with no criminal history would be returned to their home countries, now those caught at the border are prosecuted and may face up to 6 months in jail. The shift has dramatically upped the workload for attorneys and jammed criminal courtrooms. In recent weeks, how has your work changed?
It's kind of an all-hands-on-deck situation every time. I mean, we had been accustomed to handling caseload in the 30s and sometimes in the 40s.
And what are you looking at now?
Between 70 and 75 in the morning, and then up to another 70 to 75 in the afternoon.
Vice News obtained audio from one of these hearings.
I'm going to go through individually and ask you how you plead in your case. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Culpable, guilty.
How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
How do you plead?
Culpable, guilty.
How do you plead?
Culpable, guilty.
How do you plead?
Culpable, guilty.
How much time do you have with any individual client?
We talk to them on average around 5 minutes or so.
5 minutes before you represent somebody.
Give or take.
Zero tolerance has had another effect.
Under President Obama, under President Clinton, people were getting prosecuted for illegal entry. What is different, though, is that they're separating people from their children.
Their children are placed in shelters or foster care indefinitely. What percent of people who come through the courtroom doors that you see would you say have been separated from some kind of family member?
The percentages are somewhere between 20 and 30%. It's a gigantic proportion. Certainly, I don't remember people routinely saying they've been separated from their children and what's going to happen to my family.
According to Customs and Border Patrol, almost 700 children were separated from their parents in just the first 2 weeks of the policy.
Well, I was told when I was separated from my son that you were going to tell me when I was going to be joined with my son again.
I don't know who told you that, but you were told incorrectly. I have no information regarding your child. Immigration doesn't call the court or me personally and tell me what happened to your child. If they did do that, it wouldn't hurt my feelings. I'd be happy to relay the information to you if I could, but they don't do that. So hopefully somebody will get in touch with you through that side of the government.
What will happen to families where people are across borders, people who've lost contact because a young child has been taken into federal care?
I think this is something that sounded like a real good idea to some people in Washington. I understand that they're separating these people from their children as a means of deterring future people from considering the possibility of bringing these kids with them. But the bottom line is, when you've got a child whose life is in danger and you decide to go to a place that you think is safer, I think it's very hard for us to judge them for what they're doing because we're not in their shoes.
Y lo que más quiero, como les digo, es irme con mi hijo lo más pronto.
I want to apologize very much for breaking the laws here. I don't want to return ever again. But the thing that I most desire is to go back with my son, with my child.